Drake. Drake's commercial dominance is undeniable. He's broken virtually every streaming record in existence, but his artistic contribution? That's where the overrating begins. His formula has remained largely unchanged since 2015. Find trending sounds, water them down for mass consumption, and flood streaming platforms. His writing credibility took a permanent hit after the Quentin Miller ghostwriting scandal, yet he's still mentioned among the greats. His melodic innovation deserves credit, but his constant trend hopping and cultural cosplay, from Toronto to Houston to UK drill to dancehall, reveals an artist more concerned with staying relevant than pushing artistic boundaries. Drake's true genius isn't in rapping, but in marketing himself as better than he actually is. Russ. Russ's greatest talent isn't rapping, it's telling everyone how talented he is at rapping. His entire brand is built around being different for doing what thousands of underground artists already do, self-producing and independently releasing music. Despite average production and painfully generic content about fake friends and industry politics, he's positioned himself as a visionary. His technical abilities are competent but unremarkable, yet his militant fanbase treats basic self-sufficiency as revolutionary. Russ confuses being prolific with being profound, flooding platforms with music that rarely evolves. His constant preaching about his business model overshadows his actual output, creating a situation where his behind-the-scenes story is more interesting than the music itself. Lil Pump. Lil Pump represents everything that went wrong with SoundCloud rap. Gucci Gang blew up for its mindless repetition and meme potential, not musical merit. His entire appeal was built on rainbow hair, face tattoos, and deliberately ignorant lyrics celebrating drug abuse. Despite minimal technical skill and almost no discernible content beyond designer brands and substance abuse, major labels threw millions at him. Harvard dropout jokes aside, Pump's career is the perfect example of virality trumping talent. The industry pushed him as the face of a generation while ignoring genuinely innovative artists in the same scene. His rapid decline proves that gimmicks without substance create careers with expiration dates. Cardi B. Cardi B's rise from stripper to reality TV star to rapper was impressive, but her musical acclaim has always outpaced her actual skill. Her breakout Bodak Yellow was essentially a female rewrite of Kodak Black's FLo, and her subsequent hits relied heavily on co-writers and features. The industry's eagerness to crown her as female rap's savior overlooked the fact that her technical abilities, flow control, rhyme patterns, breath control, remain rudimentary at best. While her personality is undeniably magnetic, the Grammy wins and critical acclaim far exceed what her catalog actually delivers. Cardi's greatest talent isn't rapping, but converting her compelling personal narrative into an industry machine that positions average music as groundbreaking. Logic. Logic embodies technical skill without substance. His rapid-fire delivery and complex rhyme patterns initially impressed, but dig deeper and you'll find surface-level concepts recycled from his influences. His messages about peace, love, and positivity lack the depth and nuance of the conscious rappers he emulates. What's most frustrating is his potential. He clearly has technical ability, but consistently chooses obvious concepts, corny punchlines, and heavy-handed messaging over genuine artistic growth. His obsession with proving his legitimacy through speed rapping and name-dropping hip-hop legends reveals deep insecurity about his place in the culture. Logic's music is like fast food, technically satisfying in the moment but leaving you empty once you've digested it. French Montana. French Montana has mastered the art of being forgettable on his own songs. His entire career strategy revolves around securing features from more talented artists, then disappearing on his own tracks. Despite having virtually no solo hits without major assists, he's maintained A-list status for over a decade. His catalog is a masterclass in industry connections over substance, from early Diddy co-signs to riding the Coke Boys wave to strategic DJ Khaled-style collaborations. Montana's most impressive achievement isn't musical, but navigational, maneuvering through the industry despite lacking the charisma, technical skill, or distinctive artistic vision of his peers. He's the ultimate proof that networking and persistence can outweigh talent in building a rap career. G-Eazy. G-Eazy built a career as hip-hop's safe option for people who don't actually like hip-hop. His slicked-back hair, black leather jacket aesthetic, and James Dean cosplay created a marketable package that disguised his fundamental mediocrity. His flow has remained virtually unchanged across his entire catalog, a monotone delivery over trap-light production with lyrics that rarely transcend basic player tropes and substance abuse references. Despite zero technical innovation, distinctive wordplay, or cultural contribution, he's maintained mainstream relevance through strategic pop collaborations and carefully curated bad boy marketing. G-Eazy isn't terrible, he's something worse. Aggressively average, making formulaic music that's too safe to hate but too generic to defend on artistic merits. Post Malone. Post Malone embodies everything controversial about hip-hop's cultural appropriation problem. Despite beginning his career firmly in the rap lane, he strategically distanced himself from the genre while keeping its production elements, slang, and aesthetic. His meteoric rise reveals a frustrating truth. White artists can borrow hip-hop's most commercially viable elements without the cultural responsibility or background. His generic melodic approach and vague emotional content create a safe version of hip-hop for audiences uncomfortable with the genre's authentic voices. While his ear for catchy hooks is undeniable, his acclaim as a musical innovator is wildly overblown. Post isn't pioneering anything, he's simply repackaging existing sounds with face tattoos and cowboy hats to seem more interesting than his music actually is. DaBaby built a career on a single flow, an aggressive, on-beat delivery that initially felt refreshing, but quickly revealed its limitations. For nearly 2 years, he applied the exact same cadence and energy to every beat, regardless of tone or content. His early charisma and visual marketing masked this one-dimensional approach until listeners gradually realized he wasn't evolving. Despite industry praise for bringing energy back to hip-hop, his technical range and subject matter remained painfully narrow. His controversial comments and subsequent career struggles exposed how quickly apparent superstars fall when their gimmick exhausts itself. DaBaby represents the modern trap of virality, rapid ascension followed by equally rapid decline when artists lack the versatility to sustain interest beyond their initial formula. BlueFace turned technical deficiency into a marketing angle. His entire appeal was built around deliberately rapping off-beat, a quirk that initially fascinated listeners but quickly revealed itself as a limitation, not a stylistic choice. Thosiana captured a moment, but his inability to evolve beyond the gimmick exposed his artistic ceiling. While his chaotic flow briefly created a distinctive sound, it masked fundamental problems with his writing, delivery, and musical instincts. The industry's attempt to position him as the next West Coast star ignored the fact that his appeal was built on novelty rather than skill. BlueFace's rapid descent from next big thing to footnote demonstrates how quickly a career collapses when built on gimmicks instead of genuine artistic foundation. Macklemore's career peaked with a Grammy win over Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City, perhaps the most egregious example of industry overrating in rap history. While Thrift Shop and Can't Hold Us showcased catchy pop rap sensibilities, the critical acclaim and accolades far exceeded his artistic contribution. His well-intentioned but heavy-handed approach to social issues like Same Love presented entry-level progressive politics as revolutionary insights. His technical abilities, flow, delivery, writing, remained firmly average, yet he briefly received acclaim typically reserved for generational talents. Macklemore represents how easily the industry embraces palatable, non-threatening rap voices that present familiar ideas in easily digestible packages while overlooking more challenging artists addressing the same themes with greater nuance and skill. 6ix9ine's career represents everything toxic about modern rap's attention economy. His entire strategy revolved around manufacturing controversy, rainbow hair, face tattoos, excessive yelling, and endless beefs to mask his complete lack of artistic substance. His aggressive shouting over distorted beats briefly created the illusion of energy but offered nothing beyond shock value. Despite multiple legal issues, including cooperating with federal authorities, traditionally career-ending in hip-hop, his notoriety continued through deliberate provocation. 6ix9ine exposed how easily audiences can confuse engagement with endorsement, creating a blueprint for trading respect for relevance. His success reveals hip-hop's darkest truth. Sometimes being hated by everyone is more profitable than being respected by anyone. NBA Youngboy has mastered quantity over quality, releasing material at a pace that confuses productivity with progress. His remarkable streaming numbers come from algorithmic dominance and a cult-like fanbase rather than artistic excellence. While his raw emotional delivery connects with his audience, his technical fundamentals, breath control, enunciation, varied flows, remain underdeveloped. Most problematic is his content, endlessly recycling trauma narratives without the growth or perspective that elevates similar stories from more skilled artists. The industry's fixation on his numbers overlooks the fact that his artistic development has stagnated. with each project blending indistinguishably into the next. Youngboy represents streaming's dark side, rewarding familiar consistency over artistic evolution. Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi's influence on modern rap is undeniable, but his actual output has been wildly inconsistent. His legacy rests almost entirely on his first two Man on the Moon albums, with the decade following filled with experimental missteps and half-realized concepts. While deserving credit for bringing emotional vulnerability to mainstream rap, his actual technical abilities, flow diversity, rhyme complexity, storytelling, remain limited. His humming became a substitute for substantive writing, and his production choices often buried underwhelming performances beneath atmosphere. Cudi's influence created a generation of more talented artists who executed his vision better than he could himself. He's less an exceptional musician and more a cultural curator who packaged existing underground sounds for mainstream consumption. FLo Rida. FLo Rida perfected the art of making hip-hop for people who don't like hip-hop. His entire catalog consists of taking trending electronic production, adding simplistic raps about partying, and creating gym playlist fodder. Despite selling millions of singles, his cultural impact within hip-hop remains virtually non-existent. No influence on flow patterns, production trends, or lyrical approaches. His success came from strategically positioning himself at the intersection of EDM and rap during the club boom, creating music specifically designed for commercial licensing and radio play. While his commercial accomplishments are impressive, his artistic contribution to advancing hip-hop culture is negligible. FLo Rida represents the ultimate example of commercial success without cultural relevance, known by everyone but respected by few.